What voting rights is he taking away from black voters?
Oh, if we look at
the SAVE Act?
The SAVE Act, that's exactly what we're talking about. That is actually going to continue to disenfranchise overwhelmingly a lot of people of color. There are so many civil rights organizations that have run the data. If we look at the way that it is going to disenfranchise black voters, it's the same reason why Chuck Schumer called it Jim Crow 2.0.
So,
this is the same president. If we want to continue...
You haven't said how yet.
I am talking about it. It's the way that you're putting new poll taxes on this when you're making people have... That's what we can call them now. It's kind of an idiom, right? If you want to say that people have to prove that they are citizens, that they have to prove with a voter ID, the reality is you're layering what is a constitutional right for the American people and making it harder for people to vote in this country, and it's going to disenfranchise black voters.
Concern you that you're making all these claims? You've yet to lay out how it's hurting anyone, but 76% of black voters think we should show an ID to vote. 80% of Hispanic voters, 83% of the American people. Are you saying that black voters are too dumb to know what's good for them? I mean, it sounds pretty condescending to me.
That's not
three-quarters of black voters
who
want voter ID.
But to be clear, the SAVE Act is not just about ideas. The SAVE Act is about proof of citizenship.
So what?
So it doesn't.
It also makes it very hard for married women who.
I was just going to say, we talked about this before. It's not. It actually, there's an argument to be made that red state voters, women, poor white voters could be just as...
I know, you think they're dumb too, don't you? I mean, that's the thing. I hear these arguments. I've heard Democrats all week long.
No, please don't. No.
There's the deflection from talking about long-term racism.
I'm actually
right there.
You should be thinking about your constituents or your
I think they're smart enough to figure out how to register to vote.
Hold on. Most Americans don't have a passport. Many Americans don't have access to their birth certificate. Many women, a majority of women who change their names for marriage have to provide additional proof that they've changed their names in order to register to vote.
I have heard Democrats make these same arguments.
Why don't you actually respond to the substance of what I'm saying?
I am. And
as opposed to making this about something that it's not. It's not just about voter ID.
Married women,
also about
black voters, and rural people are too stupid to figure out how to register to vote.
No, that's not.
That is not what
so
offensive. That is so offensive. That's not what she said.
Let me offer the proof. Let me offer.
Are you saying they can't figure out how to vote?
This is the exact same argument.
Because y'all got false narratives out there, and y'all should be ashamed of y'all stuff. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of y'allself.
So shut up, bitch.
Is that my music? Yes, okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Wherever this video finds you, welcome to Ticks. Is this playing? Yeah, okay. So, that's just background. I want to get into this. Because, I mean, people have lost their freaking minds. Y'all lost your mind. And our biggest problem that we got going on right now is that those of us who are not of ghetto culture are, unfortunately, our voices are not as loud and as magnified as those who are in ghetto culture, which is where you get Black fatigue, champ out, stupid things like that. And of course, because everybody has a supercomputer or a smart computer that they do dumb things with on camera, on video, and post to the internet, it just, it does us no good as a people. It does us no good as a people. And here's the thing, as much as we have all of these black folks running around making all of these racist remarks and comments and whatnot after that little boy, Carmelo Anthony, rightfully went to jail for committing murder. Because I guarantee you that if you want to go with the precedent that it's okay to stab somebody who pushed you, you do not want that to become the letter of the law. You'll have a purge. You'll have a purge. Because you seems like you keep asking for it. With the way you're talking and behaving. Wasn't you for jury duty? Wasn't you on jury duty? And then assaulting somebody. And then if they would have stabbed you or shot you or beat you half to death with a pipe, they have the right to claim self-defense, right? If they murder you because you came up and hit them on some stupid stuff, let you tell it that's self-defense. Because anything that any one of those people have done to you would have literally, legitimately been self-defense, just as long as it wasn't met with deadly force. That's how people get into fistfights. But I digress. Moving right along, conversation that is coming out of people's mouths. Let me tell you something. A lot of us don't even think that way. We don't think that way. We don't feel that way. We think justice was served. But this bottom half of our 13%, this 1 or 2, or maybe even 5%, at the rate that it looks like. But, it's not that bad. So we'll go with the bottom 2%. Those are people who, you call them the EBT community. It's not just so much that they're on EBT right now. They also have children who have decided they didn't want to live on EBT. I mean, you see how they're losing their jobs working in the Department of Corrections. Yeah, Department of Corrections. You're supposed to be unbiased. Or worse yet, the black lawyer chick that was outside screaming at the top of her lungs about illegal lynching and whatnot, only to find out that she's not even licensed to practice law because she was convicted of a felony. She pulled a PPP loan scam and she was convicted of that. So she lost her license. The same thing Marilyn Mosby did, who went to jail too. Yeah, so, she a whole ass fraud out here, just like old dude was a whole pedo out here lying about what happened. Oh my God. Or worse yet, Brandon Jamal's stepfather, Mr. Knock Your Teeth Out with a pistol. With criminal children. But I digress. Yeah, the issue is that you have a lot of people who are on EBT who, in all honesty, they never would have left the plantation. They never would have left the plantation. And do understand that when you do not say what their puny brains are saying, then you're either, if you're white, or if you're non-black, you're racist. If you're black, you're a coon. You're a coon. You're a coon because, you don't defend murderers. You don't defend twerking. I mean, look at how we talk about Meg Thee Stallion and how her fans talk about her. That's ridiculous. It's like arguing with Beyonce fans. I mean, Glorilla has a fan club. Who's the other chick? The one that Umar Johnson want to sleep with? It's Suki Hana. Yeah. Talking about some she like conscious black men. When she out here screaming, she want to get her coochie scratched outside on the streets of France in front of foreigners. I mean, just, doing the culture. Huge favor. And the thing about it is that we did have a culture. Like on the plantation, and this is the root of it, really. On the plantation, you didn't know who you could trust. So plus you didn't want massa to be in your business. So you had no snitching. That's what it was born out of. Plantation life. So, I mean, black on black crime ran rampant on these plantations. Keep in mind, you're talking about people who are dirt poor. They literally have no money. So whatever little something that you have that somebody else want, I mean, it ain't like they can go to the store and buy it. They're going to take it. Why do you think the whole butter biscuit phrase, where do you think that came from? I snitches. I'm a snitch on you. And Miss Sally gonna give me a butter biscuit or a piece of cornbread or a slice of watermelon. The whole situation between light skinned and dark skinned blacks, why there's colorism. Because of, Massa raising his bastard children in his house as, house Negroes. Oh, light-skinned Jeffrey sitting up here just kissing his daddy's ass and getting treated horribly by the missus, and he don't understand why. Of course, the field hands don't like that because they know what's going on. Just that he don't know what's going on. And they lord it over him. And it comes a whole back and forth thing. Like, you're not out here doing the rough work with us. You in the house serving your daddy tea. You know what I'm saying? That causes division. That type of lifestyle causes division. The snitching for food, little snacks, treats, whatever. That causes division. I mean, plantation life it wasn't terrible just because you had to pick cotton. It was just the conditions and the mentality that you had to deal with. Not just from mass and the overseers, but your own people, your own quote unquote enslaved brothers and sisters. Like, it's no different than being in prison. It's no different than being in prison. Poverty is a horrible thing for people to go through. I mean, come on. Like, I grew up on the east side of Cleveland. The last residence we had was when I was in high school. We was there for 5 years. And that was off of Euclid and Cliffview apartment complex up a hill. That apartment complex doesn't even exist anymore. And when I lived there, if you know anything about Cleveland, I lived over there during the crack era. Yeah, so like gunshots and ambulances and people shouting, cars burning out. That was my white noise, if you will. But trust me, I know about growing up in poverty on the quote unquote plantation, in plantation conditions. modern day, at that time, plantation conditions. Conditions that really shouldn't be, but it is what it is. I mean, when you look at it, when you look at the history of us, back when we were natives, we were slaughtering and marauding each other for land and resources for hundreds of years. I mean, what was going on over in other countries was going on here. That's historical record. Slaughtering each other for land and resources. That includes women and children. The Europeans came over here. They had better weapons. They had better weapons. They had the gunpowder. Gunpowder, I mean, you don't bring bows and arrows to a gunfight. I mean, it's a step above a knife, but gun has more range and does far more damage. That was the advantage of the cavalry. I mean, it's no different than being legalized bandits on behalf of the United States government, because that's exactly what they were. Just pillagers. That's why the Alamo was so big, because they lost the Alamo. And that's when the Africans and the Hispanics, the northern Mexicans rather, it was like, all right, the U.S. was like, let's call a truce, let's make a deal. That's how you got the Texas-Mexico border and Louisiana border and everything, in the Gulf of Mexico. At any rate, outside of that, we as black folks, we lost our war. We lost that war. We wound up becoming slaves or enslaved. Slaves, yeah. Here in America, which, I mean, I think the Arab slave trade was worse. But, you know, because you were free, but you got nothing as far as when the Arabs had us enslaved. But here in the Americas, after enslavement, I mean, of course, we were promised the 400,000 acres and a mule, which was reversed after Lincoln was shot by a Democratic vice president. Lincoln's Democratic vice president, whose name escapes me. And for those of you who know, Democrats, Confederates, Democrats were the same people, same political party. Nothing switched but the names and the physical treatment of black people, but not the psychological treatment of black people by those people. Y'all call them white saviors, but you know, it's whatever, or liberals. Doesn't matter. At any rate, the one thing that we knew once the Emancipation Proclamation was signed into law was that we had to make some money, because white folks wasn't hiring us like that. You know, if you knew how to run the cotton gin or whatnot, cool, maybe. And this is how you got carpetbagging. You know, where really carpetbagging is no different than how they had those people come door to door out in the suburbs trying to get you to buy magazine subscriptions and everything. Like, yeah, you work in our car, in our chosen area. You need to come back with this many magazine subscriptions, aka this many bushels of cotton or wheat or whatever, and we'll put you up in a cheap motel, aka slave quarters, to sleep, but we'll keep a good strong eye on you to make sure you don't go anywhere. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. I know. I got a break till Thursday. That's what we're talking about. I got a break till Thursday. At any rate, all right. Sorry. What was I? Oh, it is still playing. Okay. Anyway, all right. So they put you up in the cheap hotel. I know I was running through the conversation through my head. They put you up in the cheap motel where they keep you under heavy guard. They keep an eye on you, and then of course they charge you for the hotel, and they charge you for food. So and they take, I think, 20 or 30% of your earnings. So therefore, and they take that money out of your check as far as your food and your lodging. They take that out of your check. So you are pretty much a slave. No different than carpet bagging. They would do the same thing to you. Charge you for your lodging and any food that they fed you. They would charge you that, and it would come out of your pay, plus the percentage that they was getting by just letting you be employed there. No different. But luckily, black folks took that money. Black men, they took that money and they got the hell up out of there. They started opening up their own businesses and everything. They just, because they were forced to live together, they just started building from there. This is how you got white villages, towns, and cities, because we didn't have no choice. We were forced to be like that, which was great because we had our own. We had our own grocery stores. We had our own banks. We had our own real estate agents. Everything. We had our own lawyers. Everything. We was fine. We was great. Once coming out of that rough patch, I'll say about the 1920s, 1910s, 1920s, probably the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, 60s. I would probably say the early 60s was more than likely the golden age of Black society. The 1960s, the early 1960s. Because so much so that you fought for civil rights. No, that was StreamYard. Okay, all right. I would say you have to look at how we got here politically, because we were, and what destroyed us, what put us on the path of where we're at right now. When you look at Black society, of course, we didn't call the police on each other, like, unless it was like extremely pertinent, because of a murder or something. But we did have black on black crime, but it was very low. Black on black crime was very low, because at least amongst each other. Because if you steal from old man Johnson, by the time you get home, old man Johnson is sitting on the porch with your daddy having a glass of lemonade, waiting on you to come home, and then he was going to deal with you. Because everybody knew each other. We all lived in the same neighborhood for the most part. Very small community. So you did your dirt outside of the black community, if you did any dirt at all. But still, you knew not to get caught. You still had the no snitching rule in place. Because more often than not, you didn't steal it from somebody that looked like you. And that's cool. You know, do what you got to do. We made a lot of progress, a lot of financial progress back then. And then came the 60s, or really the 50s. And really, if you look at what kicked off the civil rights situation, it was Emmett Till. It was the Emmett Till situation. I know, sorry, I'm this conversation. Anyway, let me focus. You had the Emmett Till situation where he came from Chicago. His mother sent him from Chicago in the 1950s down south and did not tell that boy the rules about dealing with, white folks down in the South. Like they're not like up here. They're not like up here. Like, you don't understand. Those are some you down there with the racists. You down there with Confederate flags, the Ku Klux Klan. You down there with the racists. You are in racist territory. Let me tell you something. Anybody white, if they don't speak to you, you don't speak to them. And if you speak to them, it's yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no, sir, no, ma'am. You mind your P's and Q's. Like, it ain't a matter, racial. Yeah, it is. Back then, yeah, it was. It was a matter of your survival. Look at what kicked. Allegedly, a black man allegedly bumped into a white woman on an elevator and was accused of attempted rape. Man, that's what kicked off Tulsa. Look at Rosewood. Look what kicked off Rosewood. I mean, they made a movie about it. You down there with them folks, okay? You mind your P's and Q's. And apparently that's not what happened. Apparently he said some words that he supposedly shouldn't have said or didn't say. The woman, she admitted that, he really didn't say nothing wrong, but she said that he said something wrong. She literally on her deathbed talking about some, I lied, or I may have misunderstood. Well, she went and told the fellas. Let me tell you something. As much as you think that his mama, as much as we supposed to have the talk, or used to have the talk when dealing with, should go back to having the talk when dealing with police officers. Because, not just because they might take you out, but they might actually lock you up. You might talk yourself right into jail, and that'll destroy everything you got going on out here. You lose your job, then you wind up getting evicted. You know what I'm saying? Lose your car, you making payments on it. Going to jail, ain't no guarantee you're going to come out with a job. But I digress. Them white folks marched right up in that boy's house, in that boy's family's house, and took him right up out of there without them lifting nary a finger. I'm talking about Emmett Till's family members when he was down there visiting. Them white folks walked right up in there like they own the place, grabbed him by his collar and was like, "Come on, boy, we'll have a talk with you." You would think his family members probably would have told him, "Hey, man, watch how you talk around these folks out here, man. You wind up in the bottom of a river." Because do understand that when before they found his body, they allegedly recovered 6 other bodies. 6 other bodies. I mean, and the police wasn't doing nothing. That was the law down there. You step out of line, you go into the river. Why do you think his family didn't bother to lift a finger when they came knocking? They already knew what it was. They already knew what it was. And the messed up part about it was that nobody went to go call his mama, like, immediately. Or rounded up some other black folks and be like, "Hey, look, come on now, we can't let y'all do that. Like, he from up north." Like, you don't want them problems, but they didn't even do that. I mean, I'm not saying it's their fault, but damn. That's the level of fear that we used to live under back in 1955. Down here in the South, at the hands of Democrats. Damn right his mama had an open casket funeral. So we did that boy. His face was the size of a basketball. All cut up and everything. What the hell? Thank God we don't live in those times anymore. Because, I mean, they went to court and they were found not guilty. That was the sad part. Sad part wasn't so much they did it, was that they actually went to court and was found not guilty, despite overwhelming evidence that they did it. They were the last one seen with them. It was one of the dude's work sites where the torture took place. I mean, what the hell? I mean, that was enough. Enough was enough. That lit the fuse for the civil rights movement. And I completely understand it. And then, of course, you had the Montgomery bus boycott. And I don't think people even understand why they used Rosa Parks instead of, because, I mean, understand it was her and 3 other people that was part of the boycott. But the other 3 people punked out and moved, but she didn't. Or maybe that was the strategy. She stayed. And she was like, "I'm tired." What Rosa Parks was supposed to emulate, while the symbology of her is so big, is that at the time, you understand a lot of black women like her or whatnot were catching these buses out of black areas to go work in these white homes and stores. The same thing with the brothers. They had to go and work somebody's kitchen or somebody's construction job or whatever. Every black job they had to take the bus out of segregated black areas, not separated, but segregated. Because they used the law to keep you contained, redlining and all that and stuff. Which is how you get, districts based on race to represent black voices in politics. But now it doesn't represent black voices in politics. It's used as a tool by the Democrats to stay in power, which they've lost because the federal government made anything racist or anything based on race illegal. That's federal law. At any rate, which means goodbye to privileges that you used to enjoy, but they were based on Yes, that's who she represented. She represented the housewives and the sales clerks or whatever, whoever gave them black women jobs in these white areas. That's who she represented on that bus. And thus, Rosa Parks. You know, that helped with MLK's movement, his nonviolent movement, which is really the reason why, one of the main reasons why him and Malcolm X, I'm like over my shoulder, Malcolm X, one of the main reasons why he had a problem with MLK is that, number one, you're getting people hurt with this nonviolence situation, and number two, we don't want to integrate with this society. We just want separation. Like, we want equal treatment under the law, but we want to, hey, now that we got it, that don't mean that we're going to flood into you. It just means now we can have more free enterprise coming into black neighborhoods. Have them buy from us. Or we work these jobs, but we keep the money with us. But that's not what happened. It went the other way. Because what King didn't understand, but what Malcolm did was that, just based on how he came up as a criminal, I mean, after his father was murdered, and the lifestyle, the impoverishment that he lived up under, how he wound up becoming a criminal, how he wound up going to prison, how he wound up becoming a Muslim, you know, his trip to Mecca and all of this stuff. What he saw was that black people think that the white man's ice is colder. So no, we separation, not segregation, not integration. That's what he felt. What's up, No News? That's how he felt. Him and MLK, they beefed with that. That was their beef. That was their biggest beef. I mean, what's going on right now? Them talking about, they always bring up MLK, and the biggest thing, instead of a dream, because it's like, okay, you have the dream, but now the biggest problem is that you're being judged by the content of your character. You didn't want nobody to judge you by race, so now we're judging you by the content of your character. And unfortunately, you know, it's not looking too good out here in these streets. But how did we get there? I mean, I put it to you like this. When before the Civil Rights Act bill, before that was even signed, when it was being drafted, at the time you had the Republicans drafting up what probably would have been maybe the start of the talks of reparations. Because do understand, it was the Republicans that came up with the Home Act. And if I'm not mistaken, if I am, I am. But they were already planning on offering black families welfare, black families welfare, because of what was going on with the Civil Rights Act. A lot of black people lost their jobs. Ain't no way in hell Miss Sally gonna have you up in her kitchen with a butcher knife around her and her children while her husband is at work. So you have a lot of black people who were domestics who lost their jobs to Consuela. You know, Consuela ain't got no beef with no daggone racism, and she happy to be here. She got to pay the cartels back. That ain't you great? That's why they had a joke about stuff coming up missing. They don't stay broke, I keep. You just bought that thing 2 months ago. Like, yeah, past the warranty, I keep. Let me stop. No, but you had a lot of black men who lost their jobs too that worked in the city, who may have worked for white folks because of what was going on with the civil rights movement. They ain't want no parts of it. You understand, it's a different time. So That was supposed to have been a stepping stone to helping black folks recover from what was going on with the civil rights movement. And the Democrats fought it. You understand, the Democrats fought it. It was the biggest filibuster in U.S. government history. Lyndon B. Johnson was like, no, you don't get it. All we got to do is make a provision. You make a provision. And I had these N-words, hard R's, voting Democrats for 200 years, allegedly. But he had to sell them on the idea. And the idea was simple. Like, you understand, these people are itching to spend their money with us. They can't wait to pull up to our lunch counters and our J.C. Penney's and our Woolworths and buy our products. I mean, you got training manuals out here that were created back during the day on how to sell to the Negro. It's a YouTube video, how to sell to the Negro. Ain't like flashy things. So all you gotta do is just gash him on it. Who's that? Jacob the Jeweler or whatever for the rap guys? Oh my God, that dude is cleaning up. First thing you do when you get a check. But I digress. Yeah, they're itching to spend their money with us. They can't wait to abandon their neighborhood and spend their money with us because, you know, they feel that we have their superior product. They want to be accepted by us. They want us to give them that pat on the bed, on that head, that butter biscuit. They want one every day. They want to feel like we love them. This is why even today, if it's like it's considered racist if you don't like a black person, let alone black people. I mean, serious, like I'm a Browns fan and I be in the message boards and whatnot, the YouTube videos, because I'm a fan. But Browns media is nauseating because of Shedeur Sanders. And it's like, I'm like, dude, the kid is a career backup at best. Like, what is you talking about? I mean, the way they act like this dude is ready to win 4 Super Bowls in a row. The second he get a full season starting nod, September 1st, oh, he gonna win the Super Bowl. The way they talk about this dude is just nauseating. You have no idea. It's like Tim Tebow. Only Tim Tebow was on your team, and you know he sucks. Where is he now? Yeah, you know he sucks. But he's on your team. But everybody is praising him. It's no different. He's the black Tim Tebow to me, and he's on my team. And if you don't agree, I mean, I swear to God, when you don't agree with the glazing that they give this kid, I can't begin to tell you how many times I was called racist. And I'm like, fool, I'm black. Oh, you just don't want a black quarterback. Nigga, Deshaun Watson is black. Oh, what are you talking about? It's that ridiculous that, you know, how we label people a racist. At any rate, J. Edgar Hoover has statues and buildings named after him because he was a mastermind when it came to espionage here in the United States through the FBI. Sending Gloria Steinem in with her feminist ideology and her white feminist clan to go in there and Not only did you brainwash the sisters with your white, lesbian, man-hating feminist ideology, but you, let's say this is the way that I saw how it worked, how the operation worked. It was usually a team of 3 or 5 white women. Usually a team of 3 to 5 white women, where one of them was the head white woman. And what the others were the distraction. You understand? They were the distraction of the black man. They were there to distract the black man. And, you know, if he wants some cookie, because this is the 60s and free love and whatnot, yeah, go ahead and, you know, fulfill an age-old plantation tradition of having you a bed bug. Go right ahead. And it's all right. I mean, that's what that chair in the hotel room is for. At any rate, I mean, that's how you got some of these, you know, black and what's the other one? What's it? The Black Extreme or whatever? I don't know. Yeah, but this is how you got these sites. This is why those sites exist. At any rate, I mean, you know, nothing's changed except the date, time, and technology. But you know, the carnal instinct is always there. At any rate, the head chick talks to the black head chick, especially if she was calling herself a feminist. Oh yes, that works even better. We're surprised that you agree with the white lesbian feminist arm of the KKK. We're glad you agree with that ideology. We're glad that you know, see men as the problem. But instead of focusing on the white man, we're gonna poke holes and point out problems with your black men. And then of course, you know, to help cement it, here you got the brothers. Hopefully, if you can get one of them to seduce her boyfriend or the guy that her orbiter, who, you know, she keeping him bone dry. She see him as just a friend, but he's out here being all militant because he want to get in her cookies. Heaven help her find out or walk in and see one of these white chicks, if not all of them, laid up with these brothers under the guise of 60s free love, and you know, we're white saviors, we're here to save you, we're down with the cause. Heaven help you if she see that, because her anger, heaven hath no fury in a woman scorn. She gonna realize that chick, in her mind, not knowing that the chick set it up, she gonna say to herself, that chick was right. She gonna agree with whatever she say. And once they were able to start getting black women, they start convincing them to start signing up for government assistance. Once they start approving that under the guise of black power, where in order for LBJ to get the bill passed by the Democratic Party, not only did you have to make that one provision of no working age male being able to be in the House, but you knew that you could keep poor blacks, or black people, period, in one designated area, because let's say you had Section 8. You got Section 8. Only in certain areas was Section 8 allowed. It's still like that today. You know, you're not moving up to a ritzy neighborhood on no Section 8 voucher. You can forget that. Ain't no way in hell you paying $72 worth of rent in a $3 million house. You know what I'm saying? That ain't happening. They keep you in the city amongst your own kind, have very big restrictions on that. But to keep you docile, you as the woman, to keep you docile and to destroy your sons and daughters, because they know what abject poverty does to you. You're talking about former plantation owners and overseers and whatnot. These are the descendants of them. You think they didn't pass down the tales? Why do you think, they say racism is an oral tradition? They knew what you would get up to if you were impoverished and amongst your own people. They knew that the crime skyrockets. They knew it. They knew poverty would skyrocket. You're on an economic plantation with that shit, and they knew it. That's how LBJ convinced him. Pretty much, at least those who are still practicing plantation politics, who have grown up on welfare at EBT community, you're still practicing plantation politics when it comes to black crime, which is why we have black on black crime. That often gets ignored. I mean, you'll have people like me or whatnot, or others that will talk about it, but as far as in the blackosphere, it gets ignored. I mean, you got 75-year-old grandma ripping people's hair out over fast food and dying after the altercation. Because why the hell are you 75 years old and you went here throwing a goddamn bitch fit about a coffee or a chicken sandwich or some shit like that? It's not worth it. You're arguing with a 17-year-old. You literally got out of your car to go argue with a 17-year-old inside a fast food restaurant, Tim Hortons of all places. Where it cost you your life. You had to get into a physical, you got so incensed that you got into a physical battle with a 20-year-old. What, because she's white? She took your ass up out of here, didn't she? At any rate, yeah, you grabbed allegedly when the hair that she ripped out of this girl, because they have brittle hair. You ripped out her hair of this girl, she put the hair in her purse as a trophy. And of course, after she died, you had a family member that came out and said, yeah, this woman was a tyrant. Like, she's always like this. Like, thank God my family is now free from having to deal with this chick. We all have black women in communities like that. They were white, we would call them Karens. But they feel that they can violently assault you or talk to you all crazy or whatnot because, I don't know, because you black. I guess. That's your culture. That's that EBT culture. But that shit right there, these plantation rules that we go by today, we got to shake that. That is our biggest generational curse that we fail to address. And it's not like people don't try. But what happens is that when you try to establish some sort of boundaries or laws or rules amongst that class, you wind up in a fight. Or you get called a coon or something like that, or some type of Uncle Tom or whatever. Because you ain't with that shit. You're an adult. You're not ready to crash out over a chicken sandwich. You're not about to crash out over who was in line first at a Walmart, which happened to me last week. Stupid clerk. I got to tell the story. I mean, because I live amongst black folks. The black clerk opened up his thing. Apparently, when he opened it up, the lady that was in front of me, she said, "Hey, he just opened up." So me and another woman went boom. She had just a cup. She had like 2 things of wine and some snacks. I just had. I had 3 bottles of shit. What do I have? I had 3 bottles of Kavita. I had 3 bottles of Kavita because that's all they had. Oh no, I had a 6-pack. I had a 6-pack and 3 empty single bottles of Kavita. So we come around the corner, boom. I get there first. She put down the thing. She's there second, and some woman comes smashing in front of her while I'm thinking that the guy is scanning my items because he's grabbing them. You know, I'm setting them down, and he's grabbing them. And then this woman comes shoving through the woman behind me with her cart full of stuff, like, excuse me. Like, what are you doing? Me and the other woman and the clerk, me and the woman and the clerk are looking at each other, but the clerk is not looking at me or the woman that was behind me. He's looking at the chick with the basket. And, you know, me and the chick are looking at the clerk and looking at each other and looking at this woman like, what is going on here? So apparently what happened was, as I found out, as soon as, you know, I was like, you know, I told her, hey, because I was like, hey, no need to fight in the line. No need to argue about it. No need to argue in line. No need to argue in line. Let's figure out what's going on. Apparently, the clerk, when he cut on the light, he called the woman with the basket over first. And she had a lot of stuff in her basket, whereas me and the other woman just happened to get there faster. And instead of him saying to the woman, well, okay, ma'am, I know I called you over, but they got here first. Let me go ahead. They only got a couple small items. Let me ring them up, and then I got you. Instead of him saying that, he said he egging her to come on to cut me and the woman, cut the woman and me, because he didn't scan my stuff up. He was grabbing my stuff and sending it to the side. I'm like, what is this? Like, dude, like, really? What's up? So, I'm trying to keep, because the 2 women are sniping at each other. And I'm telling them, hey, look, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. So they kind of simmered down. And then the woman, she paid for her stuff and left. So then now he's scanning my stuff. And she was like, well, you know, I don't understand. How did all of this happen? And I told her, she was like, I told her it's not my fault. I said, I know it's not your fault. And it wasn't her fault. It was his fault. I pointed right at the clerk. It was his fault. Looking dead in the eye. It was your fault. He handled that poorly. You take men out of the equation and you leave these people to their own devices, and it don't matter really. You can really have like a man and a woman that's on the same mental frequency, where they want to snipe and go back and forth with each other over something stupid, to escalate into a fight. And it ain't just black folks, but a lot of the footage is coming from us. Trust me, I've seen a white dude lay a white chick out in a Walmart. She was talking that political bullshit because he had on some type of Trump hat or something, and she went up, she hit him, and he slapped her to sleep. Slapped her to sleep. Put your hands on me. Shit, I'm not your son, I'm not your husband, I'm not your brother. I'm a stranger in the street. You know, and a lot of people don't seem to understand that. That low impulse control. Yeah, I do understand a lot of black folks don't want to be around that crap. We don't enjoy that shit. I mean, I'm being serious because I didn't enjoy none of that, and I placed the blame where it belonged. I mean, we all know about the fathers, not being in the home, the effects that's had on us. How the party switch from black folks, the party switch was from Republican to Democrat because of welfare. That's fucked up. They did that. Do understand the majority of black women, 92%, vote Democrat because of welfare and feminist ideology. It's destructive. White man hating, feminist, lesbian ideology is their mantra. I mean, it's just that old plantation mammy mentality where the women on the plantation had the power as far as when it came to, I mean, they were, the ultimate flex was telling an overseer on Sambo or whatever name you want to give them. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I was trying to think of, I didn't want to say Chicken George because that's just, but whatever. You went and told the overseer or the master's son who's probably sleeping with you or however way it go, somehow white penis is involved in her life, be it known or undercover, or she's trying to sell it to the white overseer because the son is out of reach. So, and master don't want you, so you got to go for the overseer. You got to seduce the overseer in order to get some privileges and get some of the things you want. I mean, why you think you have divestors now? Look at the message that Cynthia G was putting out, allegedly, and people like her. Say the Moynihan report to tell you all about Raccoon City. Yeah, unfortunately, it spread. It spread. Unfortunately, it's a cancer that, in all honesty, is about to fix itself. It's about to fix itself. I said when Trump was elected, right now, it's over. You do not want to be in front of a judge when Trump is in office. There'll be no more slaps on the wrist. I mean, look at it. Child got off, and it had nothing to do with race. It had everything to do with, I mean, let's look. I hate to rehash this. Let's get this out the way. Understand the facts of the case. The basic facts of the case. Did Child have a history of violence in the store? Yes, because people were trying to rob the store. They were either trying to steal from the store or they tried to rob the store. That's why he pulling guns on quote unquote customers, because these customers have had ill intent. Did the boy steal the water? No, he did not. They thought he did. So hey, come back. They just want to check. He took off running. He didn't take off running because he stole anything. He took off running because he's 14 years old with a gun in his waist. And if they get to patting him down to see if he clean and they find that gun, there's a strong possibility that they might hold him and call the police. And that's the last thing he wanted. And it's not like his mama didn't know that he had the gun, because if she was doing any type of parenting, she would have saw that he was posing with a gun on his social media. I mean, we all saw it. How did she not see that? If you're, raising your son properly. Everybody put everything that they're doing on social media. At any rate, while he was running, he tripped and fell. The gun fell out. Of course, they chased him. The son chased the boy over the water because they was tired of people stealing from the store. And I know it's a bottle of water. It's 89 cents. What's up, Simeon? But it's not. It wasn't about the bottle of water. It was about. It was about the optics. What's going on in Ted? It was about the optics. You can't forever be the lick. It was a principle of the matter. Even an 89-cent bottle of water, we want that back. You're taking food out of our mouths. You're taking our ability to make money away from us, because to you it's just one bottle of water, but to them this is probably like the 10th or 15th time that day somebody's came in and tried to steal something, whether they got away with it or not. That's why you got grandma working the aisles of the store. I mean, damn, it's a convenience store, and you got grandma working the aisles. You got a father with a history of, having to pull out guns on customers that were trying to either steal or rob from them. You got them right. They was going to chase them down for a bottle of water. It was about principle. I know to us it wasn't worth it, but to them it was. The son's, of course, faster than the father. The boy tripped, fall down, the gun fall out of his waistband. He grabbed the gun. The son stopped, threw up his hands, that he's got a gun. He probably didn't even know his father had the gun on him. Father see the gun, they point the gun, boom, boom. Boy tried to run away, boom, boom. According to them, he was pointing the gun behind them while running, which, I mean, there's a 50-50 chance that that's plausible, because you're just trying to get these people off of you so you can run and get away. So you figure if you point the gun at them, they'll make them stop chasing you, even though you probably had no intentions at all whatsoever of pulling that trigger. Like, we don't arrest people for thought crimes. That's how you get off as Mr. Child. Your defense attorney, a black man, did a good job in representing you. It's tragic that a 14-year-old boy lost his life, but none of that would have happened if he wouldn't have had that gun on him. I don't care about the whole running from the store and all of that shit. Even if they would have caught him, they would have found that he didn't have no water on him or in his book bag. But the point of it is that he never would have ran when they came out the store after him if he didn't have a gun on him, because that's not a natural reaction for somebody that's innocent or something. You'd be like, what? You stole a bottle of water? Come check me. Come check me so I can rub it in your fucking face. Yeah, pat it all down. Yeah, open the bag. Yeah, come on, shake me down. Yeah, see, you can rub that right in their face. You know what I'm saying? But if you know you doing something, you guilty. You got a gun on you at 14 years old. Of course you're gonna run. But those are the facts of the case. Same thing with Carmelo. A push does not equal deadly force. Flat out. You wasn't jumped. You didn't know them. You wasn't being bullied. Come to find out you were instigating it. You sat up here for 15 minutes. They done told you 15 times to leave. You went up to the boy that you knew through your girlfriend or whatever, but I didn't know him like that. In all honesty, he came looking for trouble. It's almost like you going to sit on your neighbor's porch. Your neighbor be like, man, get off my porch. You gonna argue with your neighbor about sitting on his porch? You in the wrong. Get your ass up and get out of here. That's how you got to the whole shoving thing in the first place, because you refused to leave. But he had, like they said, he had his hand in his bag. They touch me and see what happened. Which means that he had killing intent. Or, murderous intent. He intended to harm somebody. was an open and shut case. That's why it only lasted barely a week. Wasn't really much to say after that. Wasn't no jumping, wasn't no case, no bullying. You know, all this goofy stuff that all these black people were saying that didn't make no sense whatsoever. After the case was over, because all of it was debunked. Your parents would have spent some of that money on an actual lawyer instead of themselves, you know, the house and the car. And with the father not having the job, I know he probably miscalculated. Clearly, he miscalculated on what the mortgage was going to be on that house. And after buying the Escalade, and I know you did more than just buy a house and an Escalade. I'm pretty sure you threw away a lot of the old furniture and refurnished that stuff. And I mean, money was no limit because you let the wife redecorate the house, and she looked like she just burnt right through that money. Let's just be honest. She burnt right through that money. I mean, Charleston White was right. That's a weak ass black man. And now you sitting up here trying to get more money. You trying because you realize that you overspent. You're gonna be broke in the next couple of years, if not already. You say, I'm here in South Texas and I played high school football. When we were going to play at a neutral site, each team had their own canopy on opposite sides of the field. You did not take your ass to the other team. Exactly. You stay on your side of the field. It's just like with the NFL, with professional sports. You stay your ass on your field. Even if Myles Garrett, as a Ram now, went on the Seahawks sideline, you think that them offensive and defensive linemen would surround him, ready to drag his ass up out of there? And then Myles Garrett grab a helmet and touch me. You see what happened? And then somebody grab his shoulder pad and he actually connect worse than what he did with Mason Rudolph. He clunked the guy and the guy winds up dying. You think he wouldn't get charged with murder? He's 50 feet. It's no different. Leave. Why are you trying to pick a fight? At any rate, yeah, I think 35 is appropriate for him being a young fella, but he definitely needs to pay for what he did. 35 is all right. The big thing for him will be surviving prison. He said, and yet they moved into white suburbs of North Texas, but couldn't afford a high-powered, well-connected lawyer. Right, that was the whole thing. You really here trying to make this whole shit racial, but you know, I see you didn't go buy a house in the ghetto. You moved to the upper echelon of, you know, almost millionaires. Look at upper middle class. You moved into an upper middle class white neighborhood. You went even whiter than what you were in when Carmelo was stabbing people on track meet. That's what I'm saying. You can't afford it. Oh my God, Charleston White. I mean, he's allegedly a degenerate, but I mean, he's right there in the mix of it. He wound out. Why do you think he apologized to Jeff Metcalf? Even after Jeff Metcalf, you know, read Plantation Culture, the rules. He read them the Riot Act. Ooh, that man did not hold back. And he had every right to say what he said. All that shit and sitting up here. Oh my God. Them black folks out there in Texas acting all straight up fool outside that courthouse. Ooh. At any rate. Yeah, he was like, no, like the father just wants the money. Yeah, you say Plano, Frisco, Carlton, Addison, Garland, Euless, and Arlington. You need some money to live there. Yeah, that's upper echelon tech. Yeah, he burning through that cash, and uh, you see what's his name? Charleston White said, "I ain't giving him no money. Like I'm returning everybody else's money too. Like, cause the father, he ain't worried about that boy's appeal. He just want the money, and probably was gonna get him the cheapest lawyer he could get him on the appeal, if not another public defender or the same lawyer or a goofy black lawyer. You know what? Get Jasmine Crockett, but you know she costs too much. I'm trying to figure out how black community is not outrageous when they moved out to the white suburban area. Okay, I see what you're saying. Trying to figure, how is it not outrageous when they moved out? Look, I mean, as much as we used to crap on Jim Brown when they would ask him a question about racial matters or racial politics or social racism, whatever, he would always say, and it used to make me groan, but now I understand. He used to always say that the biggest problem the black community has is black on black crime. Remember how he used to say that? And you're like, man, that's not what he's talking about. Like, but no, you need to understand that is literally our biggest problem. And then you have other professional black YouTube hustlers who will get up here and say, you know, they'll say that we is our own worst enemy, as if that's identifying with white. Like, but I mean, you got people in broad daylight shooting up a car with, you know, the mother, the father, and the child in the back seat. They shoot up the car where even the child was shot in broad daylight in Chicago. I used to say that the reason why we didn't protest black on black crime was sorry, that ain't me. That's StreamYard. No, but you know, it's like they letting the criminals run free now. The black dude that stabbed Zarina Zaruska, whatever, the little Ukrainian chick that they say they just love, you know, refugees or whatnot, and yet the Democratic Party has pretty much said nothing about it. That dude had like, well, he did 6 years in jails and had 14 or 17 priors, and now it's like coming out. You have a lot of these people that are getting hemmed up after they've committed a heinous crime that's caught national attention. Come to find out, they got a rap sheet is, you know, as long as both arms. You know what I'm saying? You know, they got these rap sheets, and the problem with it is that it was it was a revolving door. Yeah, that era under the Trump administration, that shit is over with. But if you see this, if you notice, a lot of the people who are doing this, they look like us. They black. Yeah, StreamYard be StreamYard. Oh, let me get to this. You say there's black families out there. They just ain't hood. Businessmen and women. I got 3 family members up in there. Yeah, I mean, it's like with my friend group. My friend group that I hang with here in the city, or sometimes, you know, I talk to. All of them, their children live with them. You understand? Their children sleep up under the same roof they sleep up under. And a majority of them, so do the mama. So do the mama. I think maybe only 1 or 2 of my friends, their children's mother don't live with them, but their children do. You know what I'm saying? They got a girlfriend or something like that, or they got another wife, but their children definitely live with them. They own businesses. They're managers. You know what I'm saying? You know, these are people these are working class family men. That's my friend group. It's a So you agree, I already know they aren't hood kind of type. But my thing is, how is they donated GoFundMe coming from black community to suburbs instead of finding a right lawyer? He said, on the donation part, it's crazy to me, bro. They blew through that money instead of using it to defend their son. To me, it's like they pimped him out, for lack of a better words. Yeah, I mean, the rumor is out there is that, you know, he was a problem kid. And I remember when all this went down, they did interview some of his classmates and they were saying, yeah, like he's always getting into fights. Matter of fact, the whole incident with him at the track meet with a knife, he was suspended from school because he brought a knife. It's cool. He was suspended for that same knife. And here he is at the track meet, you know, starting shit with the knife. I mean, in all honesty, if you ask me, I think Carmelo Anthony set that whole scene up in order to, because I think he got suspended like on a Thursday or a Friday, and this track meet happened like on a Saturday or whatnot. I wouldn't be surprised if he set that whole thing up in order to use it as an excuse as to why he got suspended from school for bringing a knife to school. So instead of going home to your mother and father, I mean, we don't know how they was actually raising him, but we do know they didn't give a damn about him. But in order to explain why he brought, and now I see why Jeff Metcalf said that I think we need to get CPS in on that household and interview the children to find out what's going on. Because in order for him, instead of him being scared of taking the suspension for bringing that knife to school, he decided to go to the track meet and pick a fight and then, you know, use a knife, say that, you know, I got into a fight. They was trying to, and then the school suspended me. That was supposed to have been his alibi, except he wound up killing Austin Metcalf instead of just stabbing him and then running with, oh yeah, they tried to beat me up. This is why I got suspended for bringing a knife to school. I was just defending myself. But it didn't go the way that, I mean, why else in the hell would he do that? You can't be that. Do you know how mentally dysfunctional you would have to be to do that just out of the blue and not? I mean, it really seemed like he had a plan in place. I mean, I'm just speculating, but he did get suspended for having that same knife that week. The week before that coming Monday, he couldn't go back to school Monday. If you look it up, he was not supposed to be able to go to school Monday because he was serving a suspension for bringing a knife to school. So here he is on the weekend. He wound up using the knife, and now it cost him 35 years in prison. And true enough, yeah, I mean, he has a dead-eyed look. In all of his pictures, he has a dead-eyed look. He looked like he has no soul. And to come up with a plan like that, even if it wasn't a plan that went awry, even if it wasn't, I mean, just a simple fact based on the facts of the case, you intended on using that knife. No matter what, you planned on using that knife. Whatever your reasons were, you 100% planned on using that knife, and that's exactly what you did. Something wrong with you. Something's wrong with that boy. You say you think his parents pimped him out? You goddamn right they pimped him out. They knew that boy was a problem child. This is what rumor's saying. He was a problem child, and his parents couldn't wait to get rid of him. They was like, fuck it, let's come up off of him. I mean, they selling t-shirts and stuff. Charleston White was talking about something like, man, they made well over $1 million just from private donations. Excuse me. You're not buying no house in an upper middle class neighborhood just off of $600,000 in donations, you got to have more than that. You got to be able to cover the cost of the house. At least, you know how they say 3 times the rent? You know, I mean, you got to be able to cover that before they even, you know, talk about handing you an ink pen and sliding paperwork your way. Your money got to be more than $600,000. But like I said, they done blew through that money. They done blew through that money. I wouldn't be surprised if he bought that house outright. When it's just smarter to have a mortgage. I mean, yeah, you'll pay more in the long run, but at least you'll get your use out of it. You just paying rent. You paying rent to the bank. The loan will outlast you. Hope your kids are smart enough to keep it. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he bought their house outright, because why else is he up here stressing for money? Because if you're paying a mortgage, I mean, you weren't even smart enough to know not to buy a house that's going to cost you more than what you were already making just because you got over 600. Say you got $1 million because you got $1 million in donation. No way in hell you go out here and buy a 1.2 million or $600,000, however much damn house. You don't do that. That's stupid. Anything, you downside. Make the money stretch. Maybe buy another house. Have that house pay both mortgages just by renting it out. What do I know? You know, he could have went to a lower middle class neighborhood, not a poor neighborhood, but a lower class neighborhood, refurbish the kitchens and bathrooms, you know, give it a paint job and rent it out at least about, you know, $1 million. You could lease out at least about 10, fix them up, flip them, even sold them if you wanted to. Real estate is very big, especially here in Atlanta. They always building or tearing something up or, you know, refurbishing something. Real estate is big. You in Texas too? You got all them Californians and New Yorkers moving to Texas? Come on now. At any rate, I'm sorry. Yeah, he burnt right through that money. They pimped that boy out, selling t-shirts and shit, talking about some free mellow. They pimped him out. His mother and her crocodile tears. But didn't even stay for the sentencing because they was done. They knew he lost. They knew he lost. That's what happens when you have to look, you know, responsibility and accountability in the face. You run from it. We live in a fair and just society that our ancestors wish they could have lived in, as far as how the rules are set now. Oh, they'd be thoroughly ashamed of our culture. Thoroughly ashamed. There'd be a lot of grandmas whooping some asses up in here. But as far as the freedoms that we have, oh my God. They would love it. They would love it. Like, you mean to tell me that it's a hate crime if he calls me the N-word? Like, yep, he can go to jail for that. You can sue him for that, for slander. Ain't nothing he can do about it. What rope? Lynch rope. What is that? Oh, wait. Okay, I remember. They talked to me about this in school. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, they don't do that no more. They know what's up. Too much forensic evidence and cameras everywhere. you get life for that. Like, yeah, ain't no more wrist slaps or getting away with stuff like that. Like, I mean, you got to really make a case as to why you burnt the cross on my lawn and hung my brother from a tree. I mean, you really got to make a strong case to get off. I mean, you better call Saul. I mean, I'm being funny because I mean, it doesn't happen anymore. But you think our ancestors would love that? They would love to see that. They would love to live in today's times. You understand? Just because it's illegal, it's not racist just because other races of people don't like you or disagree with you on social matters. Or the Browns starting quarterback, even though the two people can be competing for the starting job are black. Deshaun Watson is black, everybody. Did y'all know Deshaun Watson was black? Deshaun Watson is black. So if you don't root for Shador, you're not racist because the other person that's starting is Deshaun Watson and he is black. Not light-skinned black, not mistaken for another race, maybe Arab black or African black. No, that's an American black. We're not racist. Oh, God. Yeah, how dare you care about a 3-time Pro Bowler beating out a 5th-round pick who had statistically the worst quarterback average in NFL history through 2 picks in a flag football Pro Bowl. The only reason why he went was because of the coverage, and nobody watched that crap. He just saw the highlights. Like, damn, how you throw 2 picks in flag football, bro? Definitely ain't the receivers, because I mean, look who you working with. These guys belong here. Nobody else on the list wanted to come. You know how desperate we were that we called you. I mean, no Holmes, no what's the dude's name? Allen. No Herbert. No nobody. I mean, damn. We couldn't even get Aaron Rodgers in here. It was terrible. He loves the spotlight. I know. I'm just saying, man. You have no idea. Yeah, not everybody's obligated to like you. I think that's one of the biggest problems, that one generational curse that we really have to overcome is thinking that everybody is obligated to like us, and if they don't like us, it's because of racism. When, in all honesty, it's not because of racism. It's just that you're irritating as a black person. You're very irritating. Why are you so irritating? I've met other black people. They don't act like this. Like, why do you act like this? It's weird. And y'all talking about some boycott Asian businesses. Let me get this off my chest. Y'all remember the last big the last big beauty salon Asian store owner versus black female customer fight that happened, where the dude dragged her out the store, whacked her a few times, and then kicked her in the face when she had her kids with her. And I think one of the dudes, he threw a brick through the glass or something like that. And then he went to jail. And then what they did, they boarded up the window, and then they had these huge sales. Y'all remember this? Am I still? No. I swear to God, StreamYard. Let me say it again if I didn't catch up. Let me put this damn thing. Hold on. Let me know if this thing is working. Probably my memory. But yeah, the dude, he went to jail. They threw the brick through the window. The dude went to jail. The Asians boarded up the window, and then they had huge sales, and they had black men outside of the store, and they were picketing the store. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm getting at. You see that dude that threw the brick, name is Tyrone Muhammad. I done a couple videos on that debacle. He went back 2 days later, and the black women was back in there like nothing happened. Yep, because they was outside the store picking it. They was outside the store picking it, and people was covering it. And the one brother that was holding picket signs, he said to his light skin sisters, "Well, hey," because they was telling people why they were picking it. Yeah, they beat up a black woman. Don't go in there. So he told the dude, don't. Said to the light-skinned black chick, "Hey, don't go in there. They beat a black woman." They're like, "I don't care." Like, what you mean you don't care? Like, they having a sale. Like, they ain't got nothing to do with me. And right then and there, I think that was really the last time you saw anybody really seriously picket a business. Because I mean that whole Target boycott, man, what didn't nobody pay no attention to that crap? I live in Atlanta. There's a Target down the street. I go to that Target is full of black folks. Ain't nobody boycott no goddamn Target. Like, stop it. Because they don't want to carry products on their shelves that don't move, that do nothing but collect dust. So therefore, here, take your products back. Our shelf space is not storage. At any rate. Yeah, that was the last time I believe anybody did any type of boycotting. And you see how well that went. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't seem to understand about these Asian beauty salons and why all of this violence that was going on, why it was so prevalent. Having had known a female that worked in one of those stores at least 3 times per shift, she was getting threatened by Wild Keisha because her EBT or debit card was declined every single time. And they wanted, in some cases, they wanted her to help them cover it or try to give them a discount, look out for her and everything. Never mind that, she working the register and the boss is hovering. She may be working another register, or they just be standing there acting like she doing something, but she watching everything going on. Because when I get stories about black chicks trying to steal out the store, never mind that there's a merchandise detector right there at the door with a security guard sitting right there on the detector. Because what happens is that, and these are the stories that I've been told alongside being threatened because of insufficient funds, that these chicks will try to run past them and you got to snatch them. You got to snatch them before they get out the door. The story of the chicks who saw him sitting there and then all of a sudden they went in the aisle, and when you look in the mirror, you see them pulling stuff out from up under their shirts and jackets and all this stuff in their purses and dropping stuff in a pile and then walking out. With that quick walk, and as soon as you get past the door, you take off running. Yeah. Because nobody wanted to go to jail. It was about at least three times per shift, threatened with physical violence. Oh, I'm going to catch you. What time the store closes? 7. All right, I'll be at 7. I'll catch you when you get off work. Of course, I get told about it, so that way I'm not caught off guard. But neither one of them showed up. Yeah, I can see how those, Asian on black female in beauty store salon videos, I see why they became so popular. Because in order to understand the issue, you have to be involved in the arena in which the issues come up. That way you get a first-hand account and understanding of what's going on. And I mean, the lack of decorum because you were told no. I mean, it was almost like being called a bitch in that store was substituted for good morning. Hi, have a nice day. You doing all right? Everything good? I mean, you must, bitch was the new word for all of that. May as well have been, as much as it was said to them. I mean, good Lord. I see how this shit go on. I mean, you tripping because you came up short. How many videos we got of this happening? The store clerk, especially in New York. The girl's EBT cards decline. The guy won't sell them the stuff. Next thing you know, she leave out. Then in comes, Fel Antonio jumping behind the counter, picking fights, throwing punches and shit. Because your girl got smart with him, he got smart back, and she went got your silly, goofy, simping ass out the car. Funny how half of these guys be wearing wife beaters. At any rate. Yeah, no, everybody's obligated to like you. Your behavior dictates how people see you. You're truly being judged by the content of your character. And the problem is that you have too many people who have to deal with people who are out of character, and they see so many videos self-recorded of people acting out of character. And then the type of people you defend when it comes to, criminality and the stuff that you defend and depend on concerning politics. I mean, not everybody is going to like you. It doesn't mean that they don't give you the benefit of the doubt, but it's just that they have their guard up until you prove to be, friend or foe. Once they find out you're a friend, they'll lessen their guard. But anybody with any common sense when dealing with somebody should have, some sense of guard up. That's why when they disrespect you verbally or whatnot, you fire right back. It's just a matter of how you do it. I don't know. I mean, it's okay to defend yourself, but don't defend yourself from, a civilized society or what passes for one. Don't defend yourself against that. Trust me, people are already moving on from the whole Carmelo Anthony thing. And the other kid, I don't even know the other kid's name. That's how quickly that was moved on from. But now you got, Carmelo, and people are moving on from that. I think the new thing will be how it seemed like Cobra Commander tried to storm the White House with explosive drones and gunmen who were gonna ram the gates and shoot their way into the White House. Oh my God, they just needed theme music. And of course they were Antifa. Yeah, after the Trump assassination, DHS got their money because the Democrats had to sign off on it because anytime you got AOC talking about she gonna pull up on the South and she's behind 2 panels of bulletproof glass, yeah, they're very worried. They're very worried that the chickens are gonna come home to roost, which they are the DOJ pulling up. Yeah, it was Antifa. The goofy white people that think they think they're Cobra. And then they're just as efficient as Cobra from G.I. Joe. They're just like them. Yeah, you got a plan of attack, but you always running with your tail between your legs. Captured soldiers. The U.S. government. Don't you understand? You going up against military trained people, and you out here with your little goofy little mask you got from Amazon and a cheap hoodie and some weed. And your rape whistle. Thinking that you go do something. Like, man, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere. At any rate, I mean, it's been 2 years of this stuff. Go sit down. People are done. I saw an ICE agent look like Charles. Because now, they're up there in Jersey or whatnot, wherever they protesting now, these ICE agents aren't playing around. They're now shoving the living crap out of these people. They pushing these people out the way. They letting the cars run them over. I mean, it's so bad they had to put out a curfew out there in New Jersey. Like 11 p.m., y'all need to be off the streets. Get out of here. Like, we do have laws and regulations that we have to follow here. We got rules and regulations we got to follow. So y'all got to be off the streets at 11 o'clock. We initiating a curfew. But in the midst of that, you get officers that look like Charles that pushed the guy so hard. One of these little pencil neck geeks. He pushed the dude so hard, he collided into another pencil neck geek, and they both flew onto the sidewalk, collapsed on the sidewalk. He pushed that dude so hard. I mean, it looked like Ray Lewis hitting somebody. He pushed that dude that hard. Bam, bam. And they both went down off the street and onto the sidewalk. And some chick was like, you ain't gotta push him like that. You an Uncle Tom. You a sellout. And he looked dead in the camera like, I ain't hearing what you saying, chick. Like, I have to admit, based on whose mouth it's coming out of or whatnot, be they black, white, or whatever, I mean, calling me a coon is like a badge of honor. Because I see what you fight for. And I don't fight for that. Like, that shit doesn't even face me. That's why when that white boy was on here with all that mouth, like, do that in face me. Like, let me see how inferior you are. And once we dug into his history, his life, we realized, yeah, he an inferior, hurt little boy who just need his mommy. Mommy and a blankie. Mommy, she hurt me. Yeah, he had a black girlfriend. Y'all remember that? I think it was back in January, February. The dude had a white girlfriend. He came on here calling us all types of N-words. And he was trying to get them to argue with him, but I was like, no, like, let's find out, like, why you call us that? What's really going on with you? Then come to find out that I played amateur therapist better than Cheyenne Bryant. He got fired from his job. Thus, his black girlfriend that he was living with, she moved out. So he got evicted from his apartment, and now he's living up under his dad's roof in his childhood bedroom. And all he does is make whack music and play around with guns. And he has no skills that are valuable past 2015. I think he was like a data guy or something like that. Yeah, AI took his job. So yeah, so he's stuck. He's stuck. Those be the children that wind up selling, granddaddy's house or something like that, or daddy's house. That'd be those kids, because they need the money. They can't afford to keep the house, so they sell it. Black, white, whatever. Yeah, no difference. Same thing with Chud the Builder, another fucking loser. This chick was pegging him. Well, if you'd like for your chick to peg you, wait until Big Terry peg you. You're going to get the real thing, bruh. You was on your way to getting the real thing. Go ahead. Say they chimping out. I dare you. Matter of fact, we'll give you a cell phone. We smuggled this just for you. See, it's got your name on it. Chud the Builder. Here, go ahead. Go live and, go ahead and say we chimping out and call us the N-words right here in this cell block. What's up? You ain't out on the street, antagonizing quote unquote safe blacks. You're now in here with us. Go live before we fuck you up. Oh my God. Trust me, that boy is in trouble. Just because you out here yelling racial slurs don't mean the instant you hit the cell block, the white supremacists are going to take you in. No, you either got to fight or fuck your way into that party or murder. And I don't think you ready to do all that. You ain't ready to do all that. Yeah, so you're going to be out there with no protection. Same thing with Carmelo. No protection. No protection. And his parents ain't going to put nothing on that boy's books. His commissary going to be non-existent. Y'all already know that. They threw that boy away. Oh, okay. Yeah, they threw that boy away. I know. I hated to circle back to that, but yeah, not everybody is like that. But those who are like that, you find out. I mean, those are your old school typical racists. They mad at the world, so they take it out on you. Because they see that, as far as like, from their eyes, any black person with a job and a car and living by themselves or have their own place is doing better than him. You understand? I mean, you have to understand the inferiority complex that you have when you've been told all your life that, this is how black people behave. And then you mess around there and get you a black girlfriend and she takes you around, her black peoples, and you see that they doing better than you. Her friends are doing better than you, and they're younger than you. Her black female friends are doing better than you in some cases. You're leeching off of her. Rose, for example, allegedly with pissy mattress dude. This chick overseas that wound up, unalived. Her fiance, her so-called sugar daddy, one of them crypto bros. Crypto bro. She was paying for everything. Yeah, she was paying for everything. Wonder how she was making her money as a divester. Like you don't have a job that you can write down on a tax form. So how are you making your money as an influencer? Come on, fellas, you already know. But at any rate, yeah, she paying for everything. He's just a BA WB. You're a Bob. Broke ass white boy. You're a Bob. That's what these divestors are breaking their necks to snatch up, fellas. I mean, because let's be honest, if they were considered to be white high value men, they wouldn't be with her black ass. I mean, Kamala Harris's husband is on record for knocking his wife or girlfriend head between the washer and the dryer, allegedly. He's a washer and the dryer guy. he's a put the drink down dramatically. What you say, bitch? he's a them, allegedly. He's a them. No wonder the stepdaughter's so weird. And the wonder Kamala drinks so much outside of her life is being absolutely garbage. I know, and now I'm getting into rumors and gossiping and shit like a little girl. No, but at any rate, the bottom line is until we I put it to you like this. This is where I see where we going. This is what I predict for the future. Of course, as you know, they about to start locking brothers up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and in between those snacks now, because either Vance or Rubio is going to be our next president, and they're not playing around. They're not going to be soft on crime. If anything, they definitely going to have to lock down on it real hard, because do understand that Trump gave working age females 2 years to be on welfare in Section 8, and then they're off the road. So they need to start getting themselves a job. The only people that's going to be living off of this is old folks, physical or mentally handicapped people, and military vets that, hey, as long as you need. But the rest of you got 2 years. You got 2 years and maybe 7 on SNAP if you work the 20 hours a week. Usually, if they figure if you on SNAP, you got a kid. So, because that's a plus. So you got 7 years of feeding your kid on SNAP. And then you're done. Because at this point, 7, 8 years, 9 years old, you're going on all these years. You should have got a better job and prepared for this. It gave you a 7-year head start. And we made sure you had a job, 20 hours a week. So you needed, at least you were working. You can start climbing the ladder that you don't have to worry about living off of this anymore. At any rate, 2 years on Section 8/welfare. You got 2 years on that. If you can't get a job in 2 years, then knowing that you got 2-year head start, and I'm bringing all these factory jobs in here, whatnot, the economy is starting to look better. The oil is getting ready. The gas prices, y'all been bitching. I mean, amazing how first world you are that you bitch about $3 and $4 gas. I'm over here trying to prevent nuclear war here from, these Islamic terrorists. At any rate, gas is now about to go down. So I don't want to hear that shit. All right, you stop belly aching about that. These factories are near completion. They're already hiring. You understand? Yeah, we pushed through a lot of paperwork. No, we didn't put anything out in California or New York or Oregon, or Illinois, because your mayors and governors don't want me there. So why in the hell would I have them open up businesses there? I mean, why the hell do you think the Bears left Chicago? Yeah, if you don't want us there, we won't be there. But in a lot of these red areas, that normally hold the jobs, yeah. The jobs are here. You just got to find a way to get there. You got to find a way to get there. At any rate, of course, it trickles down. Yeah, what's going to happen once all of that kicks in and these people are kicked off of these government benefits, these working age females, you understand that a lot of these working age females have boyfriends that live off of them. Of course, illegally. I mean, it's bad enough that these dudes, because keep in mind, when I see these guys that used to be out here begging for change in front of a gas station or a corner store, these dudes, they weren't like over the age of 40. These were like guys who were like 35 and younger. At least between 35 and I would say 25. They out here begging. Majority. Now that they can't do that anymore because we pretty much moved into a cashless society, there's no money in it. Because a lot of people don't carry cash. But at night, they go home and they sleep in Bum Keisha's house on Section 8. And her kids driving you crazy. If any of them are yours, Yeah, you can't sleep on that couch no more because she ain't got nowhere to sleep on that couch. That couch is on the curb waiting on for trash pickup, heavy duty trash pickup. Yeah, she might. Out of 100%, maybe 10%, maybe go back home to their mamas. Depends on the relationship. And usually in that community, parents and children do not get along at all. It's the reason why you got pregnant and got on, government benefits, got on welfare to help you move out. And that Section 8, that was your ticket out of there. Well, now that ticket's been punched and you're done, end of the train ride, you got to go back. Or you ain't got to go there, but you got to go somewhere. You and Antonio. So you're going to see a spike in crime, is my point. You're going to see a spike in crime come. It's bad now. Summer's like just getting started and it's bad. You got shootouts and mass shootings and everything. But next year is going to be even worse. 2028 might be the I think that's what JD Vance will probably run on, him and Rubio. They're going to run on crime. They're going to run on a crime bill. You can already see it coming. They're going to run on a new crime bill. That's going to be the talking point for the Republicans. And the Democrats, what's left of them, they're going to lose on that anyway. Nobody's listening to them. Nobody's listening to them now. The biggest story going on with them will be Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom's pending trial, him and his wife, fraud, because they definitely stole money. Recklessly stole money. Karen Bass too. Yeah, she's going to be dragged into it. That state attorney general that he appointed, oh my God, that dude is doing his job. That dude is doing his job. Looking into election fraud and everything. But at any rate, yeah, that dude's a shark out there in California. He's federal DA, or federal attorney general. Yeah, he out there doing his job. Yeah, nobody's listening. You don't have a candidate that anybody is with any sense is going to vote for. I'd be surprised if you get over 90% of the black vote. As far as like black people vote, as far as concerning the Democratic Party, I would be surprised. I mean, the illegals, as it turns out, already stabbed you in the back. So you're going to use them to cover as voter fraud. But in case anybody hasn't noticed, ICE has really ramped up their actions. You just don't hear about it. But they get motherfuckers up out of here quickly, quietly, and cleanly. There are no more huge protests all over the United States. People getting in ICE agents' face anymore. You just got the situation out in Oregon and New Jersey. That's it. Everybody else, I think they really did clamp down on the organizers and organizations. If you notice, right after Trump fired Pam Bondi, that's when all of those national protests went kaput. You put Todd Blanche in there, and now you don't see those protests like that anymore. They don't dominate the news because they're not really going on. So they took down a lot of NGOs. It looks like they're just working their way up the ladder though to get to Soros and the other boys. I mean, why do you think they subpoenaed Hassan Piker, Yeager's nephew, where everything is blamed on the Jews? If he stubbed his toe, he blaming the Jews. Somehow it's the Jews' fault. But they subpoenaed him. They want to know who's paying him. Went to China, then you went to Cuba, did some racist shit out there, working with the Cuban government. Yeah, how are you making your money? Who's actually watching your show? Because there's no way in hell you're a multimillionaire saying the stupid shit that's coming out of your mouth on a day, 10 hours a day. Was it 5-6 days a week he's on? There's no way. In case y'all didn't hear, they canceled all of his events in Denver. He was out there in Colorado. He out there in Denver, Colorado, trying to do a socialist grift, and a lot of the venues out there canceled his ass. So he's out in Denver doing nothing. You already know he got banned from the UK. So got banned from the UK, and they're canceling all of his events out there in Denver while he out there dressed like a communist dictator. Yeah, they want to know who's paying him. Plus, I mean, for him to have over 1 million subscribers or whatnot and making all of this money, it's funny that when he actually does do these lectures, you know, they're very small. His audience is very small. In fact, there was one place, I think it was seated for 1,000 people, and they had rented it out thinking that he was going to have, you know, more than 1,000 people there to see him speak or close to it. But because they had only sold so many tickets, they changed the venue to a much, much, much smaller space, and he got mad. Like, dude, all of this is based on ticket sales. You didn't rent it. You know what I'm saying? The people who are here at the school that's trying to bring you in, they got permission to use that hall. But once they saw that, you know, you barely sold 15 tickets, it was like, well, there's no point in us using this auditorium. Let's go to the smaller space. Can we get our money back for the big one and get the small one since our event didn't happen? Like, yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, you can sit 30 people in this classroom. He got mad. So it's like, who's paying you? How are you getting all this money? And who is part of your audience? Like, seriously. Because you know you can pay for chatters. You can pay for chatters. You can pay for subscribers. You know what I'm saying? You can even pay for views. I mean, that's what the chatters are. You pay for as far as like that, and then they'll come back and just all you got to do is watch maybe 15 to 30 seconds of a video, and it counts as a view. You know, it doesn't matter whether you get the money off of it. This is why you do 2 hours a day, 10 hours a day live, and have people in there, you know, the chat bots just chatting away, you know, or paying a service to come and perform in your live stream. If y'all didn't know you could do that. And therefore you make money. You make money. 10 hours a day, 6 hours a week. Saying stupid shit. But yet, out in public, ain't nobody messing with him. Not in real life. And now you're subpoenaed by Congress on your communications. They want to check your bank records, your phone records, everything. They want to check all your communications devices. Think better be careful, because if he's tied to his nephew the way we think he's tied to his nephew, bruh, they're gonna get you too. Next thing you know, they're gonna be sending your ass a subpoena. I mean, you got Gavin Newsom out there scared the mug right now. You know, I mean, he was begging, he was double dog daring Trump to arrest him. Well, challenge accepted, nigga. Now you scared shitless. Oh, Trump's got a DOJ on me. This is weaponization. Like, no. We got the proof right here. In between these four corners of paperwork, we got the proof right here. Wait till we send our IRS agents in there to, do a forensic audit on your bank account. And the bank accounts where all these federal funds are going, because state funds, that's a state thing, but federal, that's us. We want to know what you did with federal funds. Go ahead, misappropriate 1 penny. I dare you. I double dog dare you, motherfucker. Misappropriate 1 more penny again. Now, what does Donald Trump look like? Is he white? Is he wispy haired? straight out of Pulp Fiction on Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass. Karen Bass gonna be the one laying on the couch. She's small potatoes, fat. All right, Gavin, start talking. Yeah, you ain't gonna talk your way out of this one, buddy. And your auntie ain't gonna be able to save you. She has no power. In case y'all haven't noticed, Democrats have no power. They don't have a majority. You got members going to jail, getting indicted. You got people that lost. I mean, they're just being ejected from Congress because their district no longer exists. I mean, you can still run in the district, but the thing is that you're not going to win in that district because the votes aren't going to be counted by race. It's going to be counted by political party. It's going to be a free and fair election. You're going to have to speak to the voice of the people. And Jasmine Crockett tried to do that, and you saw what happened with her. That's what's happening all across the United States with the loss of these districts. It has nothing to do with eliminating black voices. You got black leaders that don't say shit that anybody even want to hear, even as a black person. You don't hear that shit. What do you mean? You fighting for the illegals and castrating children? Jake, is you crazy? I mean, I know we kind of fucked up as a people, but we ain't that fucked up. We're not fighting for criminals. I mean, I know that's part of the EBT culture, but not all of us agree with that. More of us disagree with that than agree, just so you know. Yeah, you got to win these districts based on merit. You got to win elections based on the merit. Race ain't got nothing to do with it. Outside of, your black ass losing your seat because your district is based on race, which is racist, according to the federal government. Anything that favors one race over another is considered to be racist. That's what you wanted. MLK said, judge not by the color of your skin, but the content of your character. Well, here we go, baby. Welcome to a meritocracy. You had integration since 68, 65, whatever. He was doing just fine before then. You want to boycott an Asian store? Then where the fuck you gonna go? To the Arab store or the Indian store? Because you ain't got no store. Where you gonna go? Yeah, right. That's why nobody's listening to you. And anyway, because you ain't going nowhere. Yeah, all things about to be equal in the mud right now. Equal right now based on race. We'll see how this plays out. Especially when you're at the very bottom of the economic ladder at $54,000 annually per household. And Indians who are, up in the top echelon with earned income per household in America, yeah, they're not worried about you. They're not worried about you. You're at the very bottom of the economic ladder. You do not sustain them. Maybe in your neighborhoods you sustain them, but you understand they can just like Child did. They sold that store 3 years ago. Used it to pay for a lawyer. Opened up a business somewhere else. Or at least they're about to. Y'all went and tore up another person's store. You tore up another person's store who probably would just take the insurance money and not even reopen. Therefore, now you don't have a corner store in the neighborhood. Great job. Yeah, the crime rate is going to start. It's going to spike once these people are, their Section 8 vouchers are up. Crime rate is going to spike. Prostitution is going to spike. Fellas, be careful about honey traps. When a chick want to get with you, but it's a setup. Yeah, be careful of honey traps. But yeah, I'm predicting the new crime bill because of that. And I mean, You can cry racism all you want to, but as I told old boy, stop stealing. Stop stealing, and you won't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about getting chased out of the store or, going to jail for stealing or being followed or, just doing criminal shit. Just stop stealing. As a culture, stop stealing.
Now, gentlemen, Mr. Butler's been up north, I hear. Don't you agree with us, Mr. Butler? I think it's hard winning a war with words, gentlemen.
What do you mean, sir?
I mean, Mr. Hamilton, there's not a cannon factory in the whole South.
What difference does that make, son, to a gentleman?
I'm afraid it's going to make a great deal of difference to a great many gentlemen, sir.
Are you hinting, Mr. Butler, that the Yankees can lick us?
No, I'm not hinting. I'm saying very plainly that the Yankees are better equipped than we. They've got factories, shipyards, coal mines, and a fleet to bottle up our harbors and starve us to death. All we've got is cotton and slaves and arrogance.
That's treachery!
A problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Right. Hi. Thanks for the fun.
Get the fuck